true, Barbara.
Welcome back to the Deadlight Society. I'm Adam.
I'm Michael.
And Michael's not letting me scare people.
Yeah, he needs to just not do the screamy stuff.
No, I want to scare people. That's why you're here, for spoopies.
You are here for spooky stuff, to hear us talk about spooky stuff.
So why can't I scare our viewers when they tune in and listen to us, expecting the spoops, and we don't offer the spoops?
We offer the spoops.
So here's a warning.
I want to spoop you! I hate you, truly. Oh, God. All right.
We're back this week.
We're back. And just wanted to start off by saying, I know we announced that we were going to be doing a different movie at the end of last week's episode. What did we say?
Yeah, I said The Descent.
The Descent, there we go.
But Michael decided to pick another good early 2000s banger.
Yes, we're going to go...
It's actually a good movie, so...
2014. This is not early 2000s.
Oh, yeah, it's not.
So it's 2010.
This is like the year before we graduated.
Yeah. But we ended up doing The Town That Dreaded Sundown. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2014.
The sequel to the original 1977 Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yes, which I did not watch that one.
Why not?
Because I'm a bitch. But I do definitely want to watch that one now that I've seen it.
I'm glad you have that callback.
I definitely want to watch it, though, now that I've seen this one, because I did really enjoy this one. We'll definitely get into some kill counts, and I also want to go into the true story that inspired this movie, because it's loosely based on a true story. So
it's just as depressing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did, and it's loosely based, but at the same time, it's kind of crazy, like how similar it is.
Yeah, that's why it's very depressing, because it's still very real.
Yeah.
And they take a lot from the real shit.
Like, obviously they dramatize certain kills and stuff like that just to kind of make a movie, but a lot of it was almost what exactly happened, and it's kind of fucked up. But we'll definitely dive into that, so stay tuned with us for part 2 here. Once we get into some spoilers, I'm definitely going to dive in a little bit to the true story behind this. So if you're a fan of true crime and stuff like that, this is the episode for you. I think this is probably the first one that we're doing a true crime story. So
we did what was the other one? Bloody Birthday.
We did a Brenda Spencer, and Bloody Birthday. We kind of brought up a Killer Kid and a Killer Kids episode.
But this is the first one where it's the movie
is based off
too much from real life that we can't ignore it.
So that's exciting. I'm excited to dive into that for you guys shortly. But before we do get into that, we do have some horror news. Just one thing this week. You want to go?
I'll fucking say it because I'm mad about it. Blumhouse is making a game studio.
Yeah.
And it's making me mad because Blumhouse is known for cheaping out on properties to fucking maximize profits, and you can't do that with video games because it's very telling when you do that in video games, especially because of how technology individually runs. So they're going to have to pump a lot of money that I don't think they're willing to into this game studio.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I guess I'm more on I'm trying to remain hopeful just because I'd like to see what they can produce. I can see
it being a publishing company maybe, or hey, you have the rights to our properties, studio kind of thing. But them making a full-blown game studio, no. Sorry.
True. But I guess we shall find out. There's not really much details to that. It just kind of just released the other day that they're moving in this direction. So I am curious to see where that's going to go, what they're going to do with it, and what they're going to produce.
That's probably going to be a lot of VR stuff.
Probably, I would assume. Yeah. That's definitely the move. That's definitely the move.
Well, that's I think what they can do on the cheap. Still, they can still do that and make it more interactive movie instead of actual video game. Because if you just have somebody rendered and walking through an environment and having spooky stuff happen, that's a lot less work and cheaper to make than a full blown AAA title with Paranormal Activity or whatever the fuck production or property they want to pull from.
I mean, that's definitely fair, so I can see that. But if that is the case, I mean, I'd definitely be down to try them out. I know I've said before that I'm not really a fan of horror games because I get too scared because, again, I'm a bitch. But
I actually have, like, physical reaction and might poop.
yeah, that might be the issue, but I definitely would want to check them out for sure. There's some, like, I want to try to, because we both have a VR set, so I definitely want to, like, dive into that at some point and see what type of horror games that's already available.
As well, at some point, if y'all, any of you listeners, have, like, big screen and stuff on your Oculus Rift, or it's not Oculus Rift, it's the Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
Oculus Quest. Me and Michael want to start doing, like, maybe watch-alongs, like, with us,
Yeah.
or, like, just private screenings of our favorite movies and shit like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. They have a lot of cool, like, they have, like, a drive-in movie theater, like, background. Like, they have all kinds of cool shit
I think
in there.
we can have up to, like, 32 people in a room
Yeah.
or something.
So, if you have an Oculus, comment below what your username is, and we could definitely add you, and we'd definitely be down.
Can get, like, a public lobby going and just
Yeah.
have it, like, passworded to Deadlights only people. Like, hey, we'll put the password in the episode, and whoever hears it wants to join.
Yeah.
Do something like that.
For sure. I mean, we could definitely see about doing that. I think that's definitely the move. That would be really cool, actually, to interact with you guys and, just interact. Just have a good time. Watch a fucking scary movie and just talk shit, Basically what we do here.
Have some Mystery Science Theater, like, kind of shit to it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Well, we'll iron out the details of that, and we'll definitely let you guys know. But look forward to that, because that sounds pretty dope. But yeah, that's all for horror news this week. Just that. Crossing our fingers, hoping that it will be something good. But, I guess Adam's more on the side of don't get your hopes up.
I'm always skeptical with that
Of
kind
course.
of shit. Yeah.
But it's okay. But I'm trying.
That's my personality.
Yeah, I'm trying to cross my fingers and hope it's going to be all right. But we'll find out eventually. That's all we can do. But moving on from that, and like I said, that's the only piece that we have this week. I'll go into a little bit of...
did we say last week that the Scream killer was leaked?
I don't think we did. No. Yeah, we can just say that real quick. Apparently, the new Scream 6 movie, the killer was leaked from that. I did not look. I don't want to know. I didn't see it either. Yeah, no, I don't know. So no spoilers here. No worries. I'm not going to about to tell you who it is because I don't know who it is, and I don't...
I think the internet's getting better with it because more than anything else, I'm seeing more people just, like, shutting it down, like, hey, do you want to see the leak, or are you just, like, here to be here?
I mean, fair. I just still think it's shitty. Like, why go into that and just leak it at all? Like, just leave it alone. Like,
true.
just leave it alone. But either way, I'm not interested to know. I always like to watch those movies and guess them myself, and I'm pretty sure I've guessed just about every one so far. If you really pay attention, it's easy to guess. So
this week's movie was the first time where I've actually, like, had trouble guessing who it was at the end.
You're right. Yeah, there was not adding up things in here, and I was like, all right.
They throw you, like, a lot of red herrings.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
With this person, maybe this person.
Yep.
Maybe this person.
We'll definitely get into that as well. But just some basic background info right now. It is currently streaming right now on Paramount Plus, Pluto, and Amazon Prime. It is rated R, and it's an hour and 26 minutes long. Like we said, it's a 2014 movie, and it was produced by... It's Blumhouse, right?
Yeah,
so then
Blumhouse.
Jason Blum and Ryan Murphy. And Ryan Murphy's from the American Horror Story franchise. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, this has potential. I feel like anything with Ryan Murphy has potential at the very least. I feel that way. I like American Horror Story. He just did the new Dahmer. Was it Dahmer? The Dahmer show with Evan Peters.
That wasn't
like I feel like I think he has potential with things that he makes. Maybe you feel differently about Jason Blum, but like I feel like Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, Jason Blum ruins a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. But when I see Ryan Murphy's name, I'm like, all right, this has the potential to be decent. So
Jason Blum is a very, very, very good businessman. I'll give him that. He's not good with franchises, like actual like sitting down and planning shit out.
Fair. But
like it's very like stick to the money, please.
Stick to the money. All right, moving on. We have the ratings for this. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 66%, IMDb a 5.6 out of 10, and Google a 75%. I thought that was okay, I guess. I feel like personally I would have gave it higher. Like if my rating would have been probably like in the 80s. I really did enjoy this movie. I liked the kills in it, and I liked the story. I need to watch the original one so that I can really connect all the pieces, but it's not a movie that you need to watch the first one to understand, if that makes sense. They really break it down for you.
Through it.
Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't watch the original one, and I was fine watching this one all the way through. Like, it made sense. They explain it to you as it goes, so it's fine. I just want to check out the first one because I enjoyed this one so much. So, definitely going to watch that one. But for those of you who don't know what this movie's about at all, haven't seen it, who haven't seen the original, I'll just read a quick summary from Google. It's 65 years after a masked serial killer terrorizes the small town of Texarkana. The so-called Moonlight murders begin again. Is it a copycat or something even more sinister? A lonely high school girl with dark secrets of her own may be the key to catching him. That's the summary that they give on Google. So, but like I said, this is loosely based on real events that happened. So. Interesting.
You want to get into that in part 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get into that part 2.
Yeah, I guess because it is kind of spoilery to what happens.
So we'll break down the movie first, and then we'll go into the true story behind it, so we can kind of compare as to what the movie showed as to what really happened. So that's how that will go shortly here after we play the trailer. Let me see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say here in the beginning, but not really. Like we said, this is based on the true story that happened in 1946, and in this movie, the body count, 14 people die. So it's a slaughter fest. I'll say that. It's a slaughter fest. Yes.
It's a lot of fucked up death.
Yes, it's very intense, and there's a lot of very gory and brutal kills in here. So
if you're a sexual assault survivor or anything, there's very high warning, trigger warning.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the movie for you.
Yeah, possibly not the movie for you, but if you're able to stomach that kind of stuff, then this movie is definitely a good one to check out. I really did dig it a lot. But with that, anything else you want to add here pre-movie, or are we moving right into our part 2?
We can move into our part 2 discussion.
All right.
So everybody can enjoy your trailer.
Yes, enjoy your trailer, and we'll be right back with some spoilers.
Grandma, do you remember anything about the murders?
Your great-grandpa and your great-grandma lived in this house when it happened. He was the boogeyman, they said. Can't catch the boogeyman. Can't kill the boogeyman. Before that summer, everybody would leave their doors unlocked. And after the summer, you saw a stranger.
You'd run the other way.
And now, he's back.
What do you want?
Turn around. Do not look back.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
The town of Texarkana has awoken to a gruesome act of violence.
He could have killed me. He didn't.
He chose that girl to be his messenger.
You looked. They couldn't catch me 66 years ago, and they never will.
People say that he was a demon or a spirit.
A soul consumed by vengeance.
We are not hunting a ghost. We are after a flesh and blood killer.
Just about everyone around here's got some kind of blood on their hands.
He's gonna make the town pay for its sins.
Some days turn out great, it's okay. 'Cause some days turn out bright, it's alright.
I'm going to do it again and again until you make them remember.
And we're back, part 2. just going to jump right in here, and the first thing that I'm going to say is that this movie did what the new Texas Chainsaw requel failed to do. That's all I'm going to say. Have you seen that one, by the way?
No, I still refuse to see it.
Listen, you need to
I know
watch it.
I have to, but like
you need to watch it for me because I need to know if it's just me. Because like,
no, it's not going to be just you because we share the same fucking opinion on like those kind of like sequels and shit or requels.
Yeah,
we share that same opinion on those types of fucking ones where it's like the weird political message like ham-fisted into like whatever storyline that doesn't make fucking sense. That's just there to bring back legacy characters. Like it was just so bad, dude. And I know we're not here to talk about that movie, but it's what when I was watching this, and you know, it's a requel because it brings up past things, but it's like it's a new movie, but it brings up the past, so it counts as a requel, right? So. Well, it counts as a sequel, but it's like retelling of the original story.
Requel, it counts. So, as I'm watching it, that's the only thing that I could think about is that, if only the new Texas Chainsaw could have done what this movie did. Like, it would have been a valiant effort and something that was worth watching. But, alas, here we are just talking shit about it because it was awful. And again, I know that's not what we're here to talk about, but I just had to start with that.
2020?
I think that was either last year or the year before. So either 2022 or 2021 that came out.
Last year, though.
I think it was last year.
I think we started the podcast already when it came out.
Yeah, I think it was last year, if I'm not wrong. I could be mistaken. But I watched it as soon as it came out because I was excited. And again, this is just like Pet Sematary. When the fucking new Pet Sematary came out, I went and watched it. I was so excited after the It movies. So excited. I loved Pet Sematary growing up. And then I go and watch that fucking pile of garbage, and I'm just like, you're kidding. Like, how could you fucking do that to me? Like, you can't get my hopes up with the It remakes that you did, and I fucking loved both of them. I know some people don't like the second one, but whatever. I loved both. But how are you going to get my hopes up with that and then give me that fucking garbage, dude?
Even like Dr. Sleep and stuff, that counts as like it's a sequel to The Shining, obviously in the book too. But like going back and redoing a lot of Stanley Kubrick's like same shots and stuff that he did, and like redoing that, I still count it as a requel because you're remaking fucking The Shining.
Yeah.
It's a fucking cinematic masterpiece.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I just don't know how you can miss the mark so bad, but some of them just do. They just miss it so bad. And Pet Sematary and the new Texas Chainsaw were two very perfect examples of missing the mark by a long shot. That's all I'll say.
100% agree with that one. Halloween sucks too. I'm sorry. The new trilogy, like, fucking. I know what people felt in like the 80s and 90s with like Curse and whatever fucking all their bullshit. But like now looking back on those, they're not as bad as the new trilogy. I don't think.
That's fair.
It's a lot more tied together and makes more sense. Like chronologically.
Yeah.
But in the scheme of things, it just sucks.
I get it. I gotcha. But yeah, so that's that. I just wanted to start with that because, like I said, it reminded me of it, and I just had I had a bone to pick, so I just had to start with that. But now, diving into this movie, we're just going to go right into some kills here because, like we said, there's a lot of them, and they are pretty brutal. And I'm honestly not going to go in chronological order here. I'm just going to start talking about the ones that I thought were fucking dope. And the first one I'm going to say is the trombone. The trombone scene. I fucking loved that one. I loved it. I literally wrote in my notes, like, I fucking loved this. Like, loved it.
In my notes, this was a bad time to eat pizza rolls.
Okay.
Because I just put one on my mouth and then it's like stabbing.
Yeah. Like,
it like looks like the inside of a pizza roll.
Okay, so there's that. Don't eat pizza rolls while you watch this movie. But no, seriously, like I think that's definitely my favorite kill. It's a mix between that and then the ending with the train when the body's all cut up with the train. Yeah, I love those two.
Honestly, the pipe smack with his fucking head, like as he drove by, like the kid who gets killed with the trombone.
Yeah,
he was driving and trying to get away from the killer, and the killer just smacks him upside the head with the pipe as he's driving by. It's such just a boom, you're fucking dead kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It's so throwaway and perfect, and I love it.
Yeah, that was just an overall good scene, and that scene happens right after they think that they killed the Phantom, the Phantom killer.
Oh yeah, they think they kill him like fucking. They think it's. Oh, I guess we'll just give it away now. They think it's this like emo teenager.
Yeah.
At first, and then they think it's the pastor, and then they think it's the boyfriend, and it's a whole fucking spiel.
It just goes down this whole list, and it's not any of those people, obviously, but this, like, they're at a vigil for the fallen victims. There was 3 of them. The girl, let me see, I gotta get names here. Jamie is our main character here, and in the beginning it's her and her boyfriend Corey that are at the drive-in, and then they decide they're watching the original The Town That Dreaded Sundown movie at the drive-in, and then they decide to leave because they don't really want to stay and watch it. It's creepy, whatever. So they leave,
kiss and touch each other.
Yeah, they go to do that. They go to Lover's Lane, and that's where a lot of these murders took place in real life. Was a Lover's Lane. Like he really targeted couples. He didn't like couples. I get it.
It goes like, for whatever reason, people's brains and psyches go to like weird sex places.
Yeah,
it's like anybody who's happy like having sex, like they just get killed.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if he had a gripe to pick, whatever. I get it, but
with serial killers and like everything throughout history and movies, it's just if you have sex, you die. Sorry.
That's true. That it's actually it was actually in one of the trivia points too that I was reading earlier. I don't know if it was the true story or the movie, but one of the characters that was having sex. It was the trivia for the movie, not the true story. But like Jamie, towards the end, actually has sex with her new boyfriend, and she's the only one that survives. Like out of all the people that he killed that were trying to have sex. So that was weird and interesting, I suppose. But no, back to this trombone thing, right? It was because they were holding a vigil for the people who had just died, and then the killer shows up and they shoot him. They shoot him dead. But newsflash, it wasn't really the killer. Shocker. I am shocked.
Just a suicidal teenager.
Yes, a college student that was just, just done. He was like, fuck this. I'm tired of life. Like, I'm just going to put this hood on.
Just a suicide.
Yeah.
Put the suit on and got shot by
a
Marine or something.
Yeah, a Marine shot him. So then there's a band playing at this like party event, whatever, and they announce that the killer has been shot, is dead, whatever. And then these 2 band kids, these 2 dudes, go to drive, and this is one of the gripes that I had, because they literally go and they drive like this abandoned amusement park. Just pull off to the side, just go through this abandoned amusement park.
Amusement park? It's a fucking it's literally just all the old signs and like the entire.
But it looks just like a fucking amusement park. Like it looks like
all the lighting and shit.
Yeah, like it's not actually an amusement park, but it just looks like one. So that's what I'm going to call it, because it's bright, it's colorful, like it just looks like an abandoned amusement park. But they go and they just drive through it, and they're trying to like experiment sexually. They like each other, and that part was fucking funny to me, because they look at each other and they're like, well, what do we do? And he's like, well, you can suck it.
You can go down there.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate being here for this. It was too real and like too awkward. I didn't like it.
It was so funny. I was cracking up, and I did feel bad when they died.
It was so cringy. Yeah. It's just like, I've been here and I hate this.
I did feel bad for them. But yeah, he obviously, like Adam said, he tries to drive away and he smacks him in the head with the pole thing, and the one
my note for this whole section of the movie is just gay people.
No, but he ties one up, right? He ties one up to, I don't even know where the fuck they're standing, but they're like on some like signage or some. He ties them up to this thing, and then the other one's on the ground. And what I loved also about this scene is that he spells out with the signs. He spells out legacy, and he spelled out another word, and I wrote it down in my notes, but I didn't bring my notes with me because I'm a fucking idiot. But it was these 2 words, like legacy and something else, and it was just so like, I don't know, it was like a dope scenery, like the way that it's spelled out. It's almost like, when people like would make notes where they cut out like newspapers and put the letters like that. Like it's kind of like that vibe, but like in the ground, like in the yard.
Kill?
Yeah.
Does it say like legacy kill in?
It said legacy. I don't know. It said something else. It was 2 words. I know legacy was one of them, and I forget what the second word was. Like I said, I wrote it down on my notes, but I didn't bring my physical like written notes with me because I'm an idiot. But it was a cool scene. That's all I'm saying. Is it was a really cool scene, and I love the trombone kill. What he does is he just tapes a knife to the trombone, and then he starts playing the trombone very awfully because he clearly doesn't know how to play a trombone. But essentially, he's just playing the trombone and stabbing this kid in the back, and like brutally. It was a crazy scene, but it was my favorite kill of the movie. And I know it's a recycled kill from the original movie. It's not like an original concept idea, but it was still cool to see. And my favorite kill from this movie.
I just like looked it up, and it's the fucking I couldn't see what it actually said, but the fucking articles about it and like the review articles are all like, Town That Dreaded Sundown mixes it up, and not only straight people that have sex die. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
I love that. But that's true, though, because, like, this actual, like, true story, like, he targeted, like, male-female couples. Like, there was no gay couples that he killed.
It's funny that we have to have, like, a full news article.
I mean, you're right. That is a little...
I forget what the fucking word is now. God damn it. Like an actual, like, genuine attempt. Like, there's genuine attempt at a gay relationship in this movie. Turns out, like, every straight couple ever. Like, come the fuck on. It's a fucking horror movie. People die.
Yep.
Everyone is going to fucking die if you see them for any brief moment in time.
Yeah, and like I said, there's 14 people that die in this movie, so there's a lot of them that die. Now, granted, 2 of them are the killers.
Yeah.
Because, spoilers, which we've already given many of them, but the killer, there's not one killer in this movie, there's 2, which is also different from the real story. The real story, there's only 1 phantom killer, so they mixed it up a little bit, but it's all right. It's fine. They did like a Scream vibe for this one. Love it. They were like, yeah, 2 killers. So
I forget which. It was Scream 2 that had the 2, right?
Huh?
It was Scream 2 that had the 2 killers, right? It was Billy Loomis's mom and the one random dude.
Like all the Scream movies have had 2, my dude.
I don't know. Why am I dumb?
That's why I'm like, what are you talking about? The second one.
Why did I fucking forget Billy Loomis? Oh my god. Billy and
that's as soon as you said that, that's why I looked at you and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
You just, huh? Those are your like favorite, some of your favorite
one of them
movies.
just had 1, didn't it?
I feel like one of them does, but I don't remember. It's definitely not 2, and I don't know if it's 3. It's not 4. It would have to be 3.
I was like taking that, and I was like, wait, Scream mixed it up by doing 2 killer. I was like, I thought that all of them had 1 except for like 1.
No, they all have 2. If it's if 3 might have 1, I don't remember 3 that much.
3, it's the director or whatever.
I'm trying to think. I feel like they've all been 2.
I don't know.
I don't know why I know.
Like now you know where you know. Open your.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, I saw that video and I was just fucking stuck in my head. Every Scream has multiple killers, but now you know where I was like confused because it's like you can't keep track of how many fucking killers there are.
True. Yeah.
Every fucking Scream movie, it feels like it's multiple movies in one.
Yeah, that's true. I know 1 and 2 definitely there's 2. I know 4 there is,
and
I know
confuses it too because of fucking Scary Movie and shit. So it's like
mixing that the goof. I just watched Scary Movie again over this past weekend. I fucking love that movie, dude. I love it.
Gripes.
I know we're getting off topic a little bit right now, but I fucking love those movies. Like I just crack up. I just watched White Chicks yesterday. I know that's not a scary movie, but I'm just laughing like beginning to end. I can't. Those are my fucking favorite movies. Like the Wayans brothers are just geniuses.
Anyone who hasn't like gone back and watched In Living Color and shit, like you need to. Speaking of the Wayans brothers, this is like deep pop culture shit, not horror anymore. This is comedy. Go watch In Living Color.
Got sidetracked a little bit, but yeah, I fucking love the Wayans brothers. They're so funny. All right, moving back, I should say. We'll rewind. The ADHD comes back. We rewind. The trombone, that's what we were talking about. The trombone kill. And then, like I said, the other favorite kill that I have in here is the ending with the ending sequence with the train kill where the dude's just like chopped up. And that dude ends up being Jamie's current boyfriend. Because after her, Corey in the beginning dies.
Spoiler alert, he's one of the killers.
Yeah, I was going to say, spoiler, that he doesn't actually die. It was faked, and he's actually one of the killers at the end. But when he dies, she ends up talking to this other kid that knew her from school and was, like, in her biology class or some shit. I don't remember exactly what he said.
And
but
he actually gave a shit about her, unlike the other dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Billy Loomis situation where it's like he doesn't really care about Sydney. He's just there to fucking murder her.
Yeah, essentially. Yes, 100%. That's what I mean. It's very reminiscent of Scream, the ending, when they announced two killers.
Maybe that's why I like this movie so much.
That's true.
It's very meta and very...
Yeah.
It is very Scream-like.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck.
When I watched it, I was like... I fuck with this movie, though. I like this one. It's
It
good.
is just fucking Scream, though, because, like, her parents are dead. Like, they're not in the pic... This is Scream. Town That Dreaded Sundown 2014 is just Scream.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Probably not first, but you heard it here.
I'm mad. I'm mad at it now.
It's good, though. It's good. And it has interesting kills. It's a good story. It's loosely based on a true story. Like,
It's the fact that it tricked me into not thinking that it was just Scream. Like, I think that makes it better for me. Because it's like, usually I'm able to pull that shit and be like, oh, this is just a fucking copy and paste of the whatever. Yeah. But no, I wasn't able to tell that from... Yeah, all right. I'll give it a pass.
I like it. I like this movie.
One. You get one, Jason Blum.
You get one.
Fucking one.
Just this one.
I hate that, man.
All right, I just said two of my kills. What do you feel like in here? What's your favorite kill? Was it also the trombone? Is there another one that you found with substance?
I'm sorry. Every time you say the trombone kill, I just keep thinking rusty trombone.
Rusty trombone. No.
I'm sorry. ADHD brain again.
Yes.
Connect the dots.
Connect the dots.
My favorite was actually any of the through the window ones.
Yeah.
Like, because it's reminiscent of the 1977 one, which I love already. There is a few kills where he's like bursting through a fucking window and he just murks the shit out of people.
Yeah.
But the shooting the sheriff in the eye through the window was really good, and shoving the severed head through the window, that was great too.
That was a great one too. I almost forgot about that one, but that's like that's like the second kill in the movie. It's after they murder, and I'm using air quotes here, murder Corey. It ends up being this like army dude and his girlfriend in a hotel room, and army dude goes to get her like a drink or something, or a snack, cookie, something out of the vending machine, she stands by the window. They had just had sex, because again, he doesn't like when couples have sex.
The jump scare got me too.
Yeah,
It was like, I knew it was coming. But I was like, I can't look away. Like, I know it's coming, but this is just gonna be fun, and it fucking got me.
Yeah, and she goes to stand by the window, and she's naked, and then all you see is the dude, the Phantom. He has her boyfriend's severed head in his hand. He just bashes it through the fucking window. It was a dope scene. I won't lie. Like it feels weird to talk about this and be like, that was so fucking cool, like that. And it's like,
it's just being a horror fan. Like, it's just, there's a disconnect that you gotta hit. That's like, no, we all know it's fake.
I mean, I know it's based on a true story.
How they did it.
Yeah, like,
that's where this movie's like
based on a true story, but like those parts are like it's a drama. Like those parts didn't actually happen in real life. So
it's a dramatization of, like, I guess you could say like everything's a dramatization of real life.
Yeah.
Like, you can even go into fantasy and say, oh well, it's certain things happen in real life in somebody's actual life when they wrote the story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure, whatever. But this one's like literally taking a news article and being like, oh, what happened in 1946?
Yeah.
That's where it's like, it feels weird to talk about.
Yeah, as I'm not laughing at like the real death and murders that happened, like the true story. Like, that's obviously really unfortunate that this happened. Like, this is a true story. Like, again, there's drama, like dramatization.
But an actor throwing another actor's fake molded head through a window to kill,
is
to
interesting.
fake murder another woman. It's fun.
Yeah, that's what like I will laugh at that. That is it's cool to see in a movie, and I did appreciate it. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I think those are the more interesting kills. I think we kind of touched on all
the
of
other
them.
kills are just kind of throwaways. Slice the throat.
Yeah, that's what
off screen.
Like we said, Jamie doesn't have her parents. She lives with her grandmother, and that's one of the people that ends up dying towards the end because the grandmother realizes that Jamie got accepted into a college in California, so they were going to leave like that night and go move out with family in California. And as they're leaving, they stop at a gas station, and Jamie hears gunshots. She goes inside. Well, she went inside first to grab like some snacks, whatever, and then she heard gunshots, and she came outside, and some random dude that was at the gas station was shot, like an old dude. And then she goes around, her grandma standing outside of the car, like not facing her. And she's just like, grandma. And she goes over, and like her grandma was stabbed in the neck, and she's just like bleeding out. And I'm like, that's fucked up, though.
She was stabbed or like shot weird in the neck.
Yeah, true. Either one, because it probably was gunshots, really, because that's what you heard in the store. But it just seemed like it was stabbed. I just assumed, but it probably was gunshots. But that was sad to me. Like that was fucked up. Like it's like that's the only person that she had. Like literally murdered her boyfriend. I mean, she didn't realize that yet. She's gonna find that out within the next like 5 minutes that her boyfriend is also laying cut up on the fucking railroad tracks. Like she really literally lost everybody. Like I felt so bad for her at the end of this.
It's weird how like she seems to like get over everything.
She does, yeah, because then
she's like, yeah, she's a fighter, but she was raped. She was fucking everybody around her's dead.
Yeah,
she moved to a new fucking place. Like you're away from it, but how the fuck are you just getting over that by moving to California and going to college? No, that's decades and decades of trauma wrapped into one fucking night.
Yeah, that's fucked. Like, it's definitely fucked. And at the very end, like, she's giving her, like, monologue about, like, moving on and getting past this, and, you know,
that's what it's like. It's so weird. Yeah, you're a survivor. Yeah, you did this, but it's like, I think you're one of the one people in this world that I can give a pass if you just mentally fucking break.
Yeah, like, broke down and just fucking, like, you're the new killer or something.
You
like,
deserve it.
Yeah.
Go off.
Right? Yeah. Seriously, literally, though. But, yeah, no, that she's giving her whole monologue, and then it's the credits are about to roll in, but as she's walking away in the dark, you just see this figure, like a shadow, like on the wall beside her, walking behind her. So, like, really, essentially, it's kind of like Halloween, like how Halloween just did, like, evil just changes shape, essentially, is what I got from that.
The Town That Dreaded Sundown actually did it first, and John Carpenter liked the way that they did it.
Yeah, okay.
And because this was 77, Halloween was 78.
Mm-hmm.
They did, like, in the original, they were like panning through the cinema line, and it was like the boots of the killer like in the cinema line. So that was a play on that, which is also a play on Halloween, which is it's like all that kind of shit.
Yeah, but so that was pretty cool. I mean, it is true though too, because you think about it, like there's have been how many serial killers, and they all have different motives. All have different, like, evil really does change shape just because she may have killed at the end. She killed both the killers, but like that doesn't mean your fight's really ever over. Like there's always going to be evil in the world. So I think it was a good way to end. So it was a good ending,
especially after like a brutalized,
fucking,
like dramatization of real events. It's
yes, 100%. But I think that's really it movie wise. Like I said, I wanted to go into some of the true story here. I don't want to make you, well, I mean, I did kind of make you wait until the very end. But right before we get into that, Fear or Flop.
This is like a Fear 9.
Yeah. Fear 9? Okay, I was going to say Fear 8. So we're right around the same ballpark here. I'd say like a Fear 8.5, actually. But a 9's pretty close, too. I did like it. I fuck with this movie. This is
one of like the requels and shit in the world that I'm like, oh shit, like, I fuck with this.
Yeah.
Like, this is good.
Yeah, I would definitely watch this again. More than once, more than twice, more than 3 times probably. Like, I would just put it on just to watch it.
Yeah, this could be like in every Halloween movie.
It was actually really good. So, if you haven't watched it, I definitely check it out. Jesus Christ. I definitely recommend checking it out. And like I said, if you haven't watched the original one, it's okay. I personally am going to definitely go watch it, so I'd recommend watching that as well. But you don't
Did you ever
need...
see who the other killer was, too?
It was one of the cops.
Yeah, it was
a tricky guy.
One of the fucking cops I like watched her every fucking night. He played security, like he was one of the killers.
He was one of the killers. So, yep.
He's like they had nothing to do with it. They weren't like related to anybody in the family, like killer wise.
The cop was. He was a grandkid.
Apparently they traced it back, and they just had no relation to.
I swear to God, he was a grandkid. I thought he said he did.
Like what she was. He said he was at the end. Her little monologue, like she was like, "Oh, they traced. Like they went back and they found."
Like Corey didn't have any relation to anything. Like they just connected because they both had evil fucking minds.
I thought that just meant both of them.
I'm almost I'll fact check it, and like if I'm wrong, I'll definitely include that in the description, but I'm almost positive it did say that the cop was the grandchild of like the last victim of the original killer, because the original, like that guy was kind of left out and like his legacy was lost, and that's why he was like the first kill when he pretended to kill Corey and he told Jamie, like, this is for Beth or something. What did he say? This is
for Mary.
For Mary. There we go. Yeah. This is for Mary.
I remember that shit, but I can't fucking remember like half the fucking movie detail.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that was the grandchild. So that was the relation he wanted to bring, you know, his legacy back to his grandfather that was slain by the original killer and kind of just forgotten about. So their family was hurt by it.
Like they could have fucking ended there too, and everything would have been fine. They wouldn't have had to fucking, I guess, rape fucking what's her name?
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. They wouldn't have had to do any of that shit.
Yeah.
And they could have just been like, "This is for Mary." Like she could have ran back and been just traumatized by seeing her boyfriend get murdered.
Yeah.
The extra shit didn't need to happen, and they could have accomplished this same fucking mission.
Yeah. You're right.
No, they're just so fucked in the head that they actually went ahead and started murdering.
That's what I mean.
people.
You're absolutely right. But again, I think it's more or less that they were trying to follow the original story as well. Yeah. Because in the true story that happened, like, one of them was actually sexually assaulted. So I feel like it was more or less like not wanting it to be like this over, like, you know, fuck this, fuck Jamie. Like, it was more or less just trying to include elements from the true story is what my assumption would be.
My like logic brain kicks in and is like, if this happened in real life and people were actually planning this out, you could have stopped there, but you didn't.
You could have, but will we really ever understand a serial killer's brain? If we're being honest, unless you're a serial killer yourself out there, then maybe you get it. But like,
I guess that's what it is.
Don't
it's like
get
I'm
it.
not actually a fucking serial
killer. Yeah,
so
of course I could never imagine hurting another person in general. So I don't understand any of it, let alone breaking it down and doing other shit like all that. So
don't hurt things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucked though. I'll tell you that.
I like to joke about murdering Michael and people, but like I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said when we're like laughing about the kill scenes in here. Like I'm not, because again, this is loosely based on a true story.
It really sounds like we're trying to cover up. Like we're totally murderers. We're doing this. It really.
It does kind of sound like that, but I swear we're not. But
I feel like we always do this. We like over-explain, and then it just gets
and
worse.
It just makes it sound worse. You're right.
Just double down. We're murderers.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
That's just how my brain works. I don't know, but like I said, like we're not laughing at the actual story that happened. We're just laughing and appreciating the movie that was made. Like I understand this is real events and this is real people that died. I get it, and I do feel sorry for them, and it is fucked up. But the movie was good. The kills were good. Fear 8.
On to the true story.
Yeah, on to the true story. Like we said, this was in 1946, and it was 4 violent attacks that happened around February to May of 1946. And it was, like we said, in Texarkana, which is a real place. It's at the border between Texas and Arkansas. So that's where...
Fucking sucks there.
Yeah, apparently it really sucks there. Or at least it really sucked there in 1946. But yeah, in all 4 attacks, like we said, they targeted male and female pairs in isolated locations. A lot of them were in like lovers' lanes and just couples trying to have a good time. And this Phantom was like, no, fuck you. Like, you're not allowed to do that.
No one likes bumping uglies.
Yeah, apparently. But all right, first attack happened on February 22nd of 1946, and it happened around 11:45 p.m. It was a man named Jimmy and his girlfriend Mary. Here we go with the Mary, so they probably pulled that from the true story as well.
Yup.
Jimmy was 25 and Mary was 19. They were parked at Lover's Lane, a secluded spot known as Lover's Lane, after they were having seen a movie together. He said, "Oop."
I got it.
Just play that back again. They were at Lover's Lane after having seen a movie together, and this is very reminiscent to the movie.
They had a picnic and fucked.
Yeah, and then a man wearing a white cloth mask, which resembled a pillowcase with eye holes cut out, and he appeared at Jimmy's side door, and he shone a flashlight in, and he told him, let me see. Sorry, I'm just trying to read these notes to make sure I don't get anything wrong. So if I fuck up a little bit, but I just want to make sure I get it completely right. But he shone his flashlight in the window, and Jimmy was like, "Hey man, like you have the wrong guy. Like I'm not, you know." And then the Phantom kind of told him, he's like, "Hey, I don't want to kill you, fellow. So just do what I say." And then both Jimmy and Mary were ordered to get out of the car, and he, just like the movie, he ordered Jimmy to take off his pants, but he said to take off his goddamn britches. So, I'm not laughing because it is fucked up, but I'm just like, take off your goddamn britches. So he did actually take his pants off, and after he did that, the Phantom struck him twice in the head with the pistol. Which, again, like I said, if you watch the movie, like this is just, I'm basically explaining the movie to you right now because this is almost exactly verbatim what happened in the movie for this part. And they thought like maybe he was just trying to rob them, and they showed him the wallets. They're like, "Hey, like we don't have any money. Like if we had it, we'd give it to you. Like we don't have anything. Like please just let us go." And he ends up like he doesn't care about the money, and he struck I think it was a girl with a blunt object.
Oh, he beat the shit out of the dude.
Yeah,
with the pistol.
Yeah, he beat he hit him twice with the pistol. He was just not dead, but he beat him. And then the girl came out, and he told her after he beat her, I suppose, or hit her with the blunt object. He told her to run.
Yeah.
And which she ran, and he ended up actually shortly after that catching back up with her, and she told him, she was like, "Hey man, like you told me to run, like I'm running," and he's like, "I didn't fucking tell you that." Like, what, dude, what?
Which that might be where they play on the whole like two killer thing.
Yeah,
the movie.
Probably.
I don't remember if in the first one. I think it's only one killer in the first movie.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he told her that she was a liar and that he didn't say that, and then he knocked her down, and that's when he actually did sexually assault her with the barrel of his gun.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. I mean, he might have also just sexually assaulted her in general, but it was also with the barrel of his gun. So that part was not in the movie. That they didn't show that, thankfully, because I feel like that would be like too wild for a movie.
The trombone kill in the first one.
Yeah, the trombone. Yeah, you're right. But they didn't show that in this, thankfully. But Jamie, the actress in this, was sexually assaulted in the movie, so they did play on it. They just didn't do the whole like fucked up part.
That was one of the weird jump cuts.
Yeah. But neither of this couple did not die. This was the first attack, but neither of them died. They were just hospitalized, and they ended up, recovering from this, but obviously trauma and fucked up from it, but they didn't die. So his first attack was not successful, I suppose. Huh?
That might be your grandparents if you're listening.
Yeah, so sorry if that was your grandparents.
Fucked up to think about, but
yeah.
It's 2023. It's not that long ago.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
One person ago.
Yeah. All right, so then we'll get to the next attack, which happened on March 24th. This was the first double murder, so both of this couple did unfortunately pass away. It was Richard Griffin, who's age 29, and his girlfriend of 6 weeks, Polly Moore, who was 17. And they were both found dead in Griffin's car on the morning of March 24th, 1946, by a passing motorist. The motorist at first thought they were both asleep, but Griffin was found between the front seats on his knees with his head resting on his crossed hands and his pockets turned inside out. Moore was found sprawled face down in the back seat. There is evidence that suggests she was placed there after being killed on a blanket outside the car. And Griffin had been shot twice while in the car, and both had been shot once in the back of the head. And they were both fully clothed. There was a blood-soaked patch of earth near the car, suggesting to police that they had been killed outside of the car and placed back inside. And there were rumors that the female had been sexually assaulted, but there's more modern reports that refute this claim, so that's not known whether she was or not. The first one was. This one very well could have been, but it's not proven. Just rumors. So...
It's more than likely the case, especially with serial killer escalation that we know now. Like if the first one was already at sexual assault, it's probably
I would definitely assume that it would have been. I mean, I know it's just rumor and hasn't been proven, but if he did it to the first girl, it would make sense that he did it to the second one. Unfortunately, but that was that one. The second, April 14th, and then we have the fifth murder, which happened on May 3rd. I'm kind of
It was 3 weeks after the second one, wasn't it? It was a couple months.
Oh wait, hold on. I skipped one. That's why, because I went too far down on my list. Sorry. So the first attack was February 22nd. The first double murder was March 24th, and then the second double murder was April 14th. So this one was at around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, April 14th. Paul Martin, who is age 17, picked up Betty Jo Booker, age 15, from a musical performance at a club, and again that was at 1:30 a.m. And then Martin's body was found at around 6:30 a.m. later that morning, lying on its left side, and blood was found on the other side of the road by a fence. He had been shot 4 times, through the nose, through the ribs, from behind in the right hand, and through the back of the neck. Booker's body was found by a search party at about 11:30 a.m., almost 2 miles from Martin's body. Her body was behind a tree and lying on its back, fully clothed. It was posed with the right hand in the pocket of the buttoned overcoat. Booker had been shot twice, once through the chest and once in the face. The weapon used was the same as the first double murder, .32 automatic Colt pistol. So, there's that.
Which I think that might be a police-issued revolver.
Could be. And maybe that's why the police officer was the murderer in this movie, huh? Oh, no. But for this murder, the police said that because of the injuries on the bodies, it looked like both of them had put up a pretty terrific struggle. So they definitely fought back. Unfortunately, did not end up winning that battle. So they were the... let me see. So they were the third and the fourth people to die from the Phantom. And then we have the fifth and what seems to be final murder before he kind of just vanished. That happened May 3rd. It was sometime before 9 p.m. It was a guy, Virgil, who was 37, and his wife, Katie. This was the farmhouse killing, which was in the movie as well, but it was the sheriff and like the girl he picked up from the bar.
Yeah.
He was sitting in an armchair reading the newspaper when he was shot twice in the back of the head from a closed double window. And hearing the sound of broken glass, Katie, his wife, came from another room and saw Virgil stand up and then slump back down into his chair. When she realized he was dead, she ran to the telephone to call the police. And she rang twice before being shot twice in the face from the same window. She fell, but soon regained her footing and tried to get a pistol from another room, but was blinded by her own blood. So she ended up hearing the killer at the back of the house, so she fled out the front door, and she ran barefoot across the street to her sister and brother-in-law's house. And because no one was home, she ran to another neighbor's house and told them that Virgil's dead, and then she collapsed. She fortunately did not die. She was taken to the hospital, and she was actually questioned by the police like while in the operating room. So she survived, but her husband unfortunately was the fifth murder here from the Phantom. So, like I said, definitely reminiscent to the movie. They obviously changed some things.
The movie's reminiscent to them.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what I meant, but it's very similar. The movie had to change certain things to make it more, interesting and more shock factor, I suppose, for certain things. But I think, like, when I watched the movie first, and then I went and read the facts about the case, and I was just like, damn, like, they almost had this, like shot for shot.
A biography.
Yeah, like almost and it all says, I keep saying loosely based because that's what all the descriptions say. Like, this movie is loosely based on a true story, but like, I don't know, loosely, my guy. Like, it seems pretty spot on. Like,
anchored in reality.
Yeah. So there's that. That's the true story of the Phantom killing, and he was never caught. They assumed that it was some petty thief, just like in the movie. They assumed it was this petty thief, and it ended up actually not being him in the movie. But there's no telling who the actual real killer was. They assumed that it was in real life some petty thief because once he was arrested, these crimes stopped.
I think they assume they just hopped a train and went somewhere.
He could have just, serial killer here in Texarkana, and then, like you said, hopped a train, and maybe he was he went somewhere else. Like, we don't know. It's an unsolved case, to be honest. So it's hard to say, but interesting nonetheless. If you've never heard of it, definitely something to look into and to research if you're into like true crime and stuff like that. And I know I'm bad at explaining things, so I apologize. Especially that first killing was kind of rough for me to get through, but it's interesting. It's an interesting story. It's a very sad, fucked up story, and it's, like I said, I'm not making light of it and not trying to joke about it, but like, the movie was good and it told the story.
Yeah,
I
agree.
All right, so I don't think we have a movie picked out for next week yet, so I can't announce it. But even though we announced one last week and we didn't end up doing that, so I'm not going to announce nothing just in case. But
we have like an idea of like kind of what we want to maybe do of like themes and shit. Not theme-wise, but it's like what type of movies that we want to go into next. And
we're even talking, like we said, and we've been saying different ideas and things that we want to do. We're thinking about, we had one of the episodes where we did like half a regular episode and half of it was like a trivia game. We're thinking about just doing like full episodes of just like trivia games and just like introducing new things, like not just sticking right to like movie reviews. But I mean, that'll be the most of what we do, but just trying to mix it up a little bit, get some more interesting stuff. Like we said, the Oculus shit, like seriously, if you have one, like let's do something. Like let's like network, let's connect, let's do something. Let's do something cool,
groups
spooky.
And stuff. We have our Facebook group, so it's not like you can host stuff already through there.
Yeah. So that's
like the Facebook group. Connect with us through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get an Oculus community started.
Yep. So that's what's to come shortly. We just got to get some plans in action here and really dive into it. But it's coming. We have a new new generation of the Deadlight Society podcast in the works and coming up.
Generation of it. It's the same generation of it. Just
hyped up version. I don't know. I'm just, I just talk sometimes. Like I don't ever shut the fuck up. So I was just talking, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
You sure?
Bye. Well, he said bye. We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week
for whatever we decide to do.
Yes, absolutely.